Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. We're going to take a look at Ruben Amorim's comments after the 4-0 win against Everton as Manchester United prepare for an important match on Wednesday against Arsenal. And I'm sensing a lot of optimism that Manchester United might, just might, get a result against Arsenal on Wednesday. As usual, please have your say in the comment section below and in the live chat today, because we will try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. Now, one thing's for certain, more so than the result on Wednesday, is that you had a good sleep last night.
Great sleep. Absolutely. Slept like a baby.
Yeah.
4-0. If you can't sleep like a baby after 4-0, there's something seriously wrong. Even on Wednesday night, I'm confident of having a nice sleep because I believe in Ruben Amorim. I've said before, there'll be ups and downs. Whatever the result is on Wednesday, I will have a good sleep.
Let me know what your sleep pattern's like at the moment under Ruben Amorim, if it's got a lot better. The other day I spoke about having 10 hours sleep at one point.
Ooh.
Which is a rare occurrence. But I'm just going to dive into some of the comments that he did say after the match. And as we can see on the top line there, he said about the match that it was a really tough match, and in the important moments, we did score and change the game. Sometimes we have to suffer, and I felt that everybody is suffering together, which is really important.
Yeah, well, he highlights what really happened in the game. And that was, we started well, then lost control of the game. And in the right moments, and that right moment was getting the goal, they put pressure on Manchester United. And the good thing is, he spotted it and he's opened up about it and he spoke about it. So everyone is clear on what went on yesterday. It wasn't a 4-0 thrashing. There was some difficult moments. He's highlighted it. He will be dealing with it. And that's what I like.
Seen a few comments in match reaction that you've done after the game, like, calm down, lads, it's only Everton. And I was thinking to myself, Manchester United are in a great place right now. Manchester United are only 3 places below Everton before we played them yesterday. You know, we're not been playing fantastic football, blowing teams away. So for me, like any other day, no matter who we play, I always celebrate the win. But me and you and Webby and a lot of yous out there faced the reality of what we're facing right now as a football club, you know, behind the scenes and on the pitch of where we are. And, you know, for me yesterday, I was really chuffed with that performance and the win. Let me know what your thoughts are out there as well, going forward as well.
Look, the reality is we've not been a good side. So when you get a 4-0 win, you celebrate it. Some people might have thought we'd gone over the top. It was only Everton. But like you say, Everton were 3 points behind us. So why can't you celebrate a win against someone who could really catch it up with a win? And there was opportunities for him yesterday. And like Ruben Amorim said, until them moments came, we was in a bit of trouble.
He did say he wanted to concentrate more on the performance as well, more so than the result. And going back onto yesterday's match reaction, do you still stick by the comments that you made about that performance, especially for the first 20 minutes or so, I think you mentioned?
No, I think I gave an accurate assessment. Ruben Amorim has gave an accurate assessment. That was like 15, 20 minutes where they were coming through us, and it wasn't, we didn't lose control, but we wasn't in control, and they had opportunities. And I think that was the right thing. I think as soon as we got that moment, as Amorim points out, that goal, they just crumbled. And from that moment onwards, it was basically a walk in the park. That's no disrespect to Everton fans or anything like that. They crumbled and they sort of gave up. But there was some moments there where it was tricky, where they've come through us, and we've seen it time and time again. And when Amorim talks about the game and he talks about people's performances, that's what he's there for. He's getting the performance right. If he sees things what aren't right, he will deal with it. And he's letting us all know that he's not blind. 4-0 win, and then he just comes out and praises the goal scorers. No. He's assessed the game, he's assessing the players, and his coaches will get down to work and to improve these players, because there is a lot of improvement still to come for us to get right back up there again.
Said in the match preview before the game that I expected Mainu and Xerxes to start this game with one eye looking at Arsenal on Wednesday, with the likes of Agati and Højlund, who will come back into the starting lineup for me, in my opinion. And it was good to see Xerxes get on the score sheet, won it, bag a couple of goals as well.
Yeah, well, it was a good day, Ruben Amorim said, for Xerxes. All round, every situation, got there, got the ball, got his goals and that, and it was just the perfect game for him. That was the reason why he didn't put Højlund on there. He thought it'd be too much of a fight with their centre halves, and like we've highlighted their back four and the way they like build a brick wall. So it was the right decision, and he did everything right according to Ruben Amorim.
One thing though, Bobby Mainu, Martinez, they won't be playing on Wednesday, or available, shall I say, as they picked up yellow cards, so they're going to serve a suspension. Is that a big blow for you? I wouldn't have expected Mainu to start on Wednesday, I've got to be honest with you, but I think Martinez would have started.
I don't know. Me personally, I don't know what people out there think. I think Mainu had the possibility of starting, and I would have preferred him to start, but unfortunately, got a booking. He's out. I did discuss Martinez the other day, that his position there is not a problem. If he's injured or he's out like he is against Wednesday, Luke Shaw comes in. I've seen Luke Shaw play centre half and in that position, and I think that suits him. Outside on the left full back. Is there a place for the left full back now? Ruben Amorim, its tactics and everything are completely different. It's a left wing back, and with Luke Shaw's injury record, really, do you want him running up and down the wing for 90 minutes? No, I don't. I think he suits that position where Martinez is, and I think over this course of the season, I think them two interchanging for whatever reason, whether it's injuries, suspensions, or anything, I think it'll do them both the world of good. They'll have plenty of game time. And I think they'll be quite happy with it.
Yeah, it's going to dive into the comments. Got a couple of your comments out. Limal says, absolute pleasure to see the players and coaching staff enjoying the atmosphere on the pitch after the final whistle. Not seen that since the FA Cup final last season. Good point, mate. Frankie T says, afternoon, lads. I say Tony has never slept like he did last night. Here's to many more. GGMU. Many more sleeps like you did last night, eh?
I'll have plenty more sleeps because I believe in Ruben Amorim, and I believe what's going on inside the club more than anything. Big changes going on. I'm getting comfortable with it. I see changes. I see changes on the pitch like I've not seen for a long time. A complete reversal of on the pitch and what goes on inside that club. So I'm pretty comfortable knowing what I feel is the right, what's coming. And what's coming is ups and downs, and we will have some bad results in that, but we can see the change. And that is what I'm highlighting, and that's what I'm looking at. And that change, you'll all see it come next season, the way we then take the next step. That's how I look at it. I think this step, I did mention yesterday in my after-match, a lot of experimenting and the 3 games what Ruben Amorim's been charged. I don't think any of us would have been able to pick that starting 11. And to be honest, I think the same might be for Wednesday night as well.
Yeah, Derek, Marcus, Craig, and Paul from our members club, thanks for joining us, and every single one of you is out there. Keep the positivity and the momentum going as well around the channel. It's much appreciated. And smash that like on today's video. It really does help us as well, everyone. Glenn says, I think the opposition managers have to earn their money now. We are no longer one-dimensional. Would it surprise you if he does change it up tactically as well against Arsenal on Wednesday?
Maybe so, because if you look at Arsenal, you look at their midfield, it's the free-flowing midfield, and they come down the wings and everything. So I also look at their back four, the defensive structure and everything. It's a really top defensive structure. There's no two ways about it. And they score goals. I mean, you look at the free kicks, the corners and everything. They are free scoring, and they're scoring on a regular basis, putting teams in deep trouble. And we have sometimes, and I don't think we've come up against it under Ruben Amorim in the 3 games, where we're under constant pressure from free kicks, corners and everything, where we're having to defend all the time. But I think that's going to come on Wednesday. So it's a tough task, and let's see how Ruben Amorim deals with that.
Yeah, just going into the chat. Dino, cheers for your super chat. He says, how are you feeling about Wednesday? Question mark. Everyone else out there, if you can answer that question as well from Dino. How are you feeling? You're feeling a bit more optimistic? Like I said earlier on in the video, the comment section, what I've seen last night on the match reaction, you know, people are in there are optimistic that Man United just might get a result on Wednesday.
Well, what it is, I want to see the team playing in a pattern and not crumble once they come under pressure. And it's going to be, you've got to be realistic here. The reality is, these are a good side and they're way above United at the moment. Okay, so you want to see a good game. That's the first thing. But you also want to see United not crumble. That if they concede a goal or they concede second goal, that the pattern of play stays the same. And if it changes, then it changes because that's tactical and it all works out. Can't see United crumbling like they have done when they're up against a good side like we have seen in the past. This is different, and I want to see where United get this foot straight in, be more physical than they have been over a long period of time. That's what you want to see, a battling performance. If we go a couple of goals down, you still want to see a battling performance right to the end, because if it doesn't, then there's some players there, what you've got to say, they're not up for the fight.
Marcus Stevenson says, I wish we were playing City on Wednesday, laughing face. Craig says, tough but optimistic at the same time. Pressure is on Arsenal. Also, Lollipop says, I hope Ahmad plays. He ain't too tired to play Arsenal after playing on Sunday. A lot of talk as well about Ahmad and his contract. I think after this season, he's got a 1-year option. You know, what's your thoughts on Ahmad and this contract situation? Me personally, if it was Manchester United, all I would do right now is trigger that 1-year option. Let Ahmad just concentrate on his football this season and try and cement a place in this starting 11 without all the pressure and the noise that goes on out there about a contract. And let's say, for instance, if he was to sign a new and improved deal, the pressure that would come on him, if he was to then have a few poor games or, a downturn in performances, I think a lot of people out there would put that down to him signing in a new contract. But for me, being a young lad as well, let him go and enjoy his football from now until the rest of the season without any of that pressure. Get the club then to sit down with him and his agent in the summertime and thrash out a longer deal.
I did think the other way round recently, where I thought just give him an increased pay, get it sorted, get his length of time sorted out here, 3-year deal, 2-year deal, whatever it was. But I've gone the other way. I've spoke to you, I've listened to other people and that, and I think to myself, it's the right thing. Do the deal in the summer out of the glare of the football. Take the football away from it. Do it where it should be done, out of the glare of like the press, the media, the fans and everything. I think that's the way to do it in the summer. Give him his contract, work it out. And if he doesn't like the contract, what's offered to him, then so be it. That's life.
No, I look at it as well. We think he's a top footballer on here on this channel, and a lot of views out there, even before Ruben Amorim come in, and he's worked some magic there, putting him in a right wing back role, which I don't think many of us expected really for him to play that position, but it's working wonders at the moment. But let's face it as well, it's only been a few games. A lot of the youngsters here at Manchester United, surely they have to prove themselves over a much longer period to start getting new and improved deals as well. I know he's probably not on the same or near the same amount of money as some of more the established stars, and at the moment Ahmad and a few of the younger players are carrying this team in moments in games. But for me, let him just enjoy his football, take the pressure off, let him try and cement a first team place most of all. And then in the summer, what's the problem in revisiting it and then going through it?
There's no enjoyment here. Look, let's get something straight here. There is no enjoyment. He has to fight and cement that place like every other player.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, there's enjoyment if you're right at the top. But here, that enjoyment's got to go out. Yes, Amorim likes a laugh and a joke. He said it, right? But he has to work hard. Okay? There's a time and place. He needs to cement that place like everybody else needs to cement that place. At some point, I've said it before, by Christmas, we should all be able to say that's the starting 11, and that's what you want to see. You want to see all the other players putting pressure on each other. He hasn't cemented any place yet, Ahmad. Got to carry on working hard. He's not got to think that he's made it just because he's had a few good games and all that, And
He's destroyed a lot of players.
Listen,
doing that.
I don't think he's destroyed anyone. I think the players themselves have destroyed themselves with their own attitudes, like Anthony and everything else like that. An opportunity's come there, and he's grabbed it, right? And that's fine. But he has to cement it. You need 2 players in every position, okay? Ahmad's got that position now, and he has to fight. And he doesn't need the worry of like what we was just previously talking about, of contracts and all that. Deal with that in the summer. But there's no easy ride here. There's no enjoyment. No enjoyment for any of these players. They have had their enjoyment getting the wages and everything. A lot of people out there say that, and they picked it up doing nothing. Now, hard work, and Amorim is going to give them hard work.
I know what you're saying about no enjoyment, but there will be enjoyment. When you look at his press conferences, his interviews early on when he walked through the door, he was saying to the lads that, we need to start having fun now. But I think he's substituting that right now because the players' fitness, he wants to see more high-intensity football first from the players and getting him used to the system that he wants him to play. Then the fun will start. But when that will actually start, We don't know just yet, but things are looking promising in the first couple of weeks under Amorim, that we're actually seeing certain patterns on the actual football field where you think to yourself, oh, I like that.
Well,
That looks decent, that. That's something new. That's something that we've not been used to in the past.
Well, that's the thing. There's a time and place for enjoyment and fun. But at the moment, it's all down to hard work, and that's what they've got to do. That's why all these coaches have come in. That's why Amorim's in, and these players need coaching proper, and they need to understand hard work on the pitch. Then it brings you the freedom to enjoy yourself. Then it brings the freedom to express yourself on a football pitch. If you've done the hard work, then it's easy on a match day. I've heard many ex-professionals talk about it's harder in training than sometimes on a match day. So put it in, then you can go and enjoy yourself on the pitch. But at the moment, it's all about getting them results and winning. That's what Amorim keeps talking about. I want a win. And we have to win these Premier League games. And we have to get up the table. And we have to be in a position, especially round about Christmas, New Year, to be in a position to say, right, things going forward, we might be onto something here.
Yeah, Andrew from our members club says it's going to be a tough test on Wednesday. Looking forward to seeing how we perform. I think a lot of us are as well, Andrew. I'm optimistic, though, that we can at least get a result out of it. I'm just going to go back into some of his comments on his press conference. And he was talking about top four when he was asked the question. And if I said no, you would say I cannot be a MUFC coach. But I want to be honest with our fans. So let's focus on the performance, not the results. And like we've just discussed, it's all about building that momentum with the performances and getting the players used to how he wants them to play.
Well, I spoke yesterday, and he talks about he wants to be truthful to the fans and that. I spoke yesterday on the aftermatch about them fans yesterday. They were clear. They understand what's going on. The time yesterday was for enjoyment. It was great for the fans and everything. But they're also clear on what task Ruben Amorim's got here. And top four, yeah, that would be nice. Football fans, we all dreamed, right? And quite rightly so. But they all know the reality of where Ruben Amorim's starting from. That some of these players, right, they might start putting a little bit of work in, but then come the new year, they might be looking for the exit because things have changed. It's going to be difficult, but the fans understand, and they clearly understood yesterday, and they gave the full backing to Ruben Amorim, as if to say, we know what you're doing, we can see the changes, what you're trying to implement, and good luck to you, we're right behind you.
He did say in the bottom of that about the fans, the first moment, we just want to see a team that's working hard. The second moment, that's when we'll start to demand, seeing a more of an attractive playing style and something consistent in the games.
Well, that's what it's about. In the first moment, we want to see him work hard. Okay. Well, how many times in the last 12, 24 months have we seen a Man United team start and concede straight away? How many times have we seen that at the start of a game, at the start of the second half, and that the mentality's not been right and everything? Well, I look at this now, how it is, and the starting right. And that's the sign of getting it right for the rest of the game. You have to come out mentally prepared. And Manchester United, unfortunately, the reality has been that they have not been mentally prepared, okay? They might talk a good game, but when they step out on the pitch, bang, it all goes. For whatever reason, you've given your comments out there for the last year or so on why it's been happening. You have, Kieron. The simple fact is they weren't a unit, they weren't working together, but they are now.
Yeah, diving into the chat, Sim says, I think a draw would be good. Just don't get beat. Oh yeah. Right now, do you think more pressure's on Arsenal than Manchester United?
Pressure's on Arsenal because they've got to win the league this year. They failed to win the league twice when they should have won the league, and they bottled it. Simple as that. The pressure's on them. United are trying to build momentum in that, and their task on Wednesday is to fight, try and control the ball, and not lose control throughout the game. The pressure is on Arsenal. They have to win. They have to win the league. It's all on them. So coming away on Wednesday night, for instance, if we get a point, my God, I'll be over the moon. I mean, over the moon. Because 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, you'd never have dreamt going to Arsenal and getting a point. And the opportunity, and he talks about opportunities and the right moments that we are taking them, and we're scoring goals. You've seen that on Sunday against against Everton, the opportunities we had, we've putting away. How often do we see that? The wasteful chances, what we've had over the last 12 months especially, going left, going over the bar, open goals and everything, not getting them. The opportunities what are coming along, we're getting them. And we can do the proper counter-attack. We can get behind teams now, which he explained yesterday. We are getting behind teams. And Everton were a low block. They were a low block side, and we've always had difficulty, especially at Old Trafford, getting behind a team what has got a low block. The tactics and everything are dealing with it, and Amorim's dealing with it.
Not just the tactics from the starting 11. What I'm enjoying seeing already from the manager is the substitutions, making them at the right times as well to affect the game. And I'm not really too concerned what the starting 11 will be against Arsenal because of what I've seen from him making them substitutions. We will need players to come off the bench as well and make an impact, because you'd look at Arsenal and think their team right now, their squad is much, much fitter than what they currently are at Manchester United. So I do think he has a massive part to play, Amorim, as usual, from the sideline in making the correct substitutions as well. But it seems to be working right now for me.
I think when you talk about the substitutions, making them at the right time, changing the game and all that, Amorim's come out. It's not just about that. It's about rotating, getting people's fitness and everything. So he doesn't just look at it as changing the game. He's got a couple of ideas of why he's changing it. He's thinking of the next game. He's thinking of the players' fitness, people not getting injured. He can see, and he's trying to monitor and make sure that these players don't get injured. So when he's using the substitutes, you might think, oh, that's strange. Bringing him on, he's playing well. Well, he's looking at everything, and that's the good thing about it. He doesn't have one vision, right, I need to make a change. We're winning or we're getting beat, we need to close it down or something like that. He's thinking of different things, and that's good.
Bruno Fernandes, I've not seen any updates today. I don't know if anyone has out there. If you have, get it in the chat. But he was walking about, after the game on the pitch with like an ice pack on his foot from what I've seen. So is he a doubt for Wednesday? If he is, is it a natural replacement with Mason Mount then coming in?
Well, you look at Bruno there and you think to yourself, never likes missing a game. Never likes missing a game. But that injury there, the way it was iced up and everything, he might miss it. He might not risk him. I've just been talking about how he uses the substitutes and looks after the players so they don't get injured. I mean, why not Mason Mount come in? I don't see a problem because I see all the players able to adapt and work in a position and that. And Mason Mount, he did speak of him highly the other day. He played 60 minutes and how the intense running.
He likes the high intensity.
He likes that. So I don't really think. And when you look where he played Bruno the other day on the left side, not his natural position. So people aren't playing in the natural positions. So would it be a big loss bringing in Mason Mount, Bruno out? No, I don't think so. I think because they're all working to the system and the tactics, and they're all getting used to it and enjoying it, where they want to go out there and play football because they want to impress. Mason Mount, more than anybody, wants to run, wants that intensity, and wants to secure a place. So there's an opportunity if it arises. Will Bruno play? I think it's just a toss of a coin, to be honest with you, because he does play Bruno, and Bruno has played in a few positions.
Yeah, Life of Riley says it'll be interesting to see if we can keep up the levels of intensity. I think in the short term, I think that's also a point of why he's rotating the squad in the game as well before the game to keep everyone match fit or try and boost the fitness levels as well. So some of them who don't play get an extra day in training as well to get used to the system. And right now, I think it's working. But I do expect Christmas time going into the new year at the start to see a more settled side where you might see one, maybe two changes from the previous game, but there won't be that many changes for me.
No, I think these players are up to match fitness now. I think the intensity is there now.
Yeah, compared to some of the other teams who are above us in the league, I think there's still a little bit to go, me.
Listen, there's always room for improvement in any side, okay, in certain things, what you do. But I think the intensity is there. I think the brain is all switched on. And I think 90 minutes, these players can do it. Obviously, those what are coming back from injury, which I did say the other day, there were 6 players, some of them long-term injuries, what were on the pitch, some of them short-term injuries. But those players, what haven't been injured, the intensity is there. You look at Mazraoui, for instance. he just keeps going and going and going for 90
Yeah,
minutes.
it's like a Duracell battery, and it just
That's
keeps
right.
going.
And that's what he wants the other players to do. And you can see that in Mason Mount, that once he gets top fitness and he's got proper match fitness, he will do the same as what Mazraoui does. 90 minutes, bang, bum, bum. But there's other players out there doing it. So once they're all fully back, I really got no worries about the intensity doing what they need to do. I think it's there. Yes, there'll always be room for improvement for any side.
Tough week, really. Not just Arsenal on Wednesday, got Nottingham Forest on the weekend as well. Looking at the rest of the fixtures that we've got in December, it's always thick and fast. The games come at you. So, yeah, for right now, this month, you'd expect a lot of rotation. But like I say, come that new year, I'd expect him to put a more settled side out me.
Well,
I really would do. I don't know about yous out there, or do you see that like for the rest of the season? Lots of rotation, game by game.
I think we're going to see rotation right through Christmas and New Year, and soon as that New Year, that quick period of games coming upon you, I think then we'll all know what the side is to take us forward. Because in the second half of the season, that's the push. That's where you go for it, and then I think he'll just shorten down the players he works with, and then he'll say, right, you're my core players. This is what I want you to do. Take us to that, get us in the top 4. That's what he might look at, depending on where we are. We want a cup. Let's go for it. You've got the Europa League. We enter the FA Cup, which is the draw tonight, as it happens. So it's all looking good to the new year. And then the new year is where you want to see the push. You want to see the settled side. And he's just rotating. He's looking after players' injuries and everything else like that. And there will be dips. The dip might come with the result on Wednesday. Who knows? I don't think it will. I think United will battle and battle for at least a draw there. So you've just got to cross your fingers and hope that the injuries don't come. It's the injuries what are always affecting United. And he's looking after that.
I think most Man United fans that we speak to, and a lot of comments on the channel, if results did dip, and let's say we got beat on Wednesday night, as long as we're starting to see progress on the actual pitch in playing style, seeing a certain system where we can all get behind, and we all know current state of Manchester United Football Club, where we do need to bring more quality into the club in regards to players and still shift some out. But if we start seeing some regular patterns on the pitch, I think most fans will be happy from now until the end of the season, and then let's kick on next season.
Well, you listen to the comments and we speak to people and all that, and then you see what the crowd reaction is, and you know what it is. The reaction to Ruben Amorim and what they're seeing in front of them, whether people are sat at home or they're out in the pub or they're at the ground watching, they know what they're seeing. They're seeing improvement and they're seeing a change of football, style and everything. So they know that going forward, there will be dips. We'll be up there 1 minute and we'll be down there for the next. It's football. It's the way it is when there's change coming. It's next season we want to see Man United. And I think Ruben Amorim is looking forward to next season. And everything he's doing now is the process. And the process will be ready by the summertime.
Marcus says Mazo in capital letters, meaning Mazraoui. Sim says De Ligt is doing okay as well. I expect a lot more from De Ligt. Like when Man United signed him, a lot of people out there who wasn't sure about De Ligt. They were always going back to his injury records, like Bayern Munich, Juventus, etc. But I still think we've got a proper player who's a presence in the dressing room, who is like that leader as well, who won't take any BS from other players. He will dig other players out, and I'm expecting more to come from De Ligt, because I do think he has that presence where we've needed players like him in the dressing room who have got like that authority in there. And like I say, I expect a lot more from him.
Well, I look at the authority of De Ligt. Yeah, it's impressive. He's done well. But authority in the dressing room, I don't think there's authority in the dressing room at this moment in time. I still believe that there's room to get some of these players out. I don't think the authority is fully in the dressing room. I don't think they're all one. I still think there's certain groups in there. I've had conversations, and I know that there's certain people sit at different tables and that. I don't think it's a fully mental squad what's working for the same aim. I think we'll get there, but at the moment, I think there's certain people who have got their own cliques. And once Ruben Amorim gets rid of them cliques and that, I think where you talk about De Ligt, I think he will come forward as a strong leader, as a strong personality. And yeah, he's got all that.
He's got that personality where he's brave.
But I think that more and more of that will come out once Ruben Amorim starts dealing with the squad and how they talk and how they communicate with each other on a daily basis. That takes time. There's a lot of healing what has to go on from inside that dressing room, because a lot of players have leaked stories and everything else like that. We've all seen it, and they've turned against each other, or they don't like.
Not fully on board with each other, getting along, basically. Just like you do see in other workplaces.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you talk about De Ligt, I don't think his presence is fully appreciated in there yet. And I think once they're all together as a unit, on and off the field, I think that's where his role will step up further, because he is a big personality, but I don't think he's been able to get it across in the way we're thinking at the moment. You need 4 or 5 leaders on a football pitch, not one. And I think once they're together, the harmony's there, I know Amorim's working hard to get there, I think then you'll see more and more of De Ligt on the field being a commanding figure. That's how I see it. And now I might be totally wrong. You might have a different opinion out there, but you do need 4, at least 4 on the pitch who are leaders. And I think De Ligt will come across that over a period of time, but not just yet.
The likes of Mazraoui, Ahmad, being talked about a lot because of the recent performances. Someone who still keeps going under the radar for me, and that's Onana. For me, Onana right now is our player of the season up to now. I think he's someone, maybe the only one, who can keep his head held high, even under the results under Erik ten Hag at the start of the season.
I think when you talk about Onana, how you have to talk about him and his performances is the collective work from the back 4. It's the back 4 what's got more solid, and that back 4.
Well, it's a 3 now.
Well, it's been a back 4 at the start of the season. Yeah. Okay, so those defenders, right, have got it right. They know what they're doing. They're all in sync with the goalie. The goalie's in sync with them. The goalie's improving because he trusts the people in front of him. That weren't the case before. So from the start of the season, Onana has improved, but I think it's a group improvement of what's in front of him as well. Can't argue with Onana. I'm not too sure about, is he the best player this season? I look at Mazraoui. I think he's been consistent. I think there's 1 or 2 others as well. So
I'm just looking at some of the saves that he's made as well.
Well, I'm just hoping you've not put the curse on him.
No, I've not put the curse on him. It's someone who was actually looking at, before the even season started, expecting like he needs to improve.
Oh, he has
season.
to improve.
You know, we've not always got it right in recent years. Even under Sir Alex Ferguson, we're bringing goalkeepers in, and I was 50-50 on him whether he had a long-term future here. I've got to be honest, but he surprised me, and let's keep it up with Onana because he's done really, really well for me, especially on last season's performances. Vera says, hello, Tony and son. I'm new to the channel. Lovely content. Thanks for joining us, Vera, with them kind words as well. And it's much appreciated. Every single one of you is joining us. And it'd be much appreciated if you could smash a like on the video as well. That does help. Paul says, Rubens give us direction, leadership and belief.
Well, he certainly has. Certainly has. That's why I believe in him, because of the change what's gone on in front of my eyes. My eyes don't lie. Your eyes don't lie. You can see the change. Okay, so it's not some like, oh, I've woke up from a dream or anything. It's what you see. You can see the change. So that's why we believe in it. But going forward, I also look at the Arsenal game. We've mentioned it. Don't really want to go too much on it, but I look at Ugarte. I think he has to play on Wednesday. He has to play. Yeah. I think the way he just gets about the pitch, gets about the job quietly, and he does it. He's the one what will break up the Arsenal play or any other team. That's how I look at him. So I'm looking at Ugarte. A lot of people had the doubts about him for different reasons, silly stories. Oh, it's someone else who's picking him and all that. It's ridiculous. No, but Ugarte, for me, what I've seen of him, I think there's a lot more to come from him, and I think a lot of people will be shocked at how he's used on that pitch, and I think it'll be perfect for Wednesday night against Arsenal, breaking up their play.
No, definitely. He's got that legs. He's got the energy to get up and down the pitch as well, high up the pitch and try and break the play up in their half. And for me, he's got similar characteristics as what N'Golo Kante had for me, who I play for Chelsea. Maybe not right now in terms of like the running with the ball, because he was good at carrying the ball, I thought, N'Golo Kante. Probably didn't get the praise he deserved at times People more or less concentrating on the defensive work, breaking play up. But for me, Agati is that kind of like a lone wolf. Will just go hunting on his own around the pitch to get the ball back, break the play up. You know, if the player or the ball does go past him, the player won't. And he does do them little tactical fouls like we used to see with Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, like we see at Manchester City. Some of their players, when teams were counter-attacking, you know, they'd go and do like a tactical foul, wouldn't they, where they wouldn't get that yellow card, but it'd break up the play. And for me, I think we've got a special player there who will become an actual, well, I won't go too overboard, but I think he'll be a very important player.
No, he won't go too overboard.
No, but I do think he'll be a very important player for Manchester United in the future, because I think it's something we've desperately lacked in the middle of the pitch for at least 10, 15 years. Probably since Roy Keane actually left the club in that middle of the park. You know, we've had the likes of Ander Herrera, etc., come in, who's give us that intensity in the middle of the park. But this fella here, for me, looks like something special where he's going to be cemented in this team for a few years to come.
I think what it is with Ugarte...
Probably did go on overboard, actually, in the end, didn't I?
Yeah, but, you know, there's no harm in that. I've done it myself, and no shame in it.
Oh, no, there's not.
I think Ugarte will continue in this team because he suits the style and the tactics, what's played. Yeah. I think it really suits him. He's an enforcer, but quietly goes about his job. So let's hope he plays against Arsenal, because I think he'll take Odegaard out, one or two others out. Yeah. And that's what's needed.
Yeah. Get that rifle on his back. Get that rifle on his back and start spotting him out. But Mason Mount as well, important because of the high intensity that he brings to the club, the energy and the mobility most of all to get up and down the pitch. And that's what Agati gives. And in that system Amorim brings, it's vitally important down the spine of that pitch.
I'm not going overboard about Mount. I like him, always have done. Yeah. Okay, but I have to clarify here, his injury record is terrible. Okay, it's terrible. Looks as though he's got over it at the moment, having 60 minutes. We need to see more of him. That's why I think if Bruno's not there, he might play on Wednesday night. But the problem with Mount, and you have to bear in mind and not go overboard here, you have to see a consistent Mason Mount getting out there on that pitch. And his injury record and his injuries have to clear up for him to go forward. And there's a big look at Mason Mount from Ruben Amorim, the coaching staff. I think they look at him and think, because they have spoke highly of him, that get it done, but we've still got to worry about your injuries, because them injuries keep reoccurring. But hey,
it'll be interesting to see, and we probably won't know until the end of May when the season finishes, though, if these players like your Mason Mount, your Luke Shaw have been fit more consistently than what they have been, you know, in previous years, especially the last season. And then you've got to look at maybe the training methods of what they've actually been doing on the training ground week in, week out, maybe wrote another chat around Manchester United. You take care, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Another chat around Manchester United. You take care, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.